For people who don't know your story, where do you start?
Under a rock and find out where they at. We go under the rock. We dig the rock up and be like, hey, you come out of there. It's time to come to the light. It's time to come to the light. No, I started selling drugs as a 19-year-old kid who all of his dreams had suddenly been taken away from him. My dream was to be a tennis player, was pretty good, Probably could have got a scholarship.
Yeah, did you meet Arthur Ashe?
Yeah, I met
That's
Ashe.
a trip.
I met Ashe.
I've
awesome.
never met Arthur Ashe. I have a tattoo of Arthur Ashe. I never met him.
He came down to our high school.
Really?
We had the best black high school.
tattoo of Arthur Ashe, man. I never met Arthur Ashe. Yeah.
We had the best high school tennis team in the country.
Really?
Yeah, we did. And
Amazing.
Ashe came down and gave us awards, and well, not me because I wasn't. I was on JV at that time. I wasn't on the varsity team. Gave awards and hit with the top 3 or 4 players, and it was an amazing day, man. And I was like, oh, I know I'm in the right sport.
Yeah.
So I just took to it, man. I fell in love with it. I didn't have anything else, At that time, I couldn't read, I couldn't write. Basketball and football wasn't going to be the way because I was too little, and tennis was perfect for me. So I jumped in and I started putting my all into it. And too bad at the end of the rainbow, when it was time for me to graduate from high school, they found out I couldn't read or write, and they was like, oh, well, you're not going to college. And you're a dummy. And I was kind of crushed by it. Found myself back in South Central Los Angeles, in tennis we call no man's land, where you're in a position on the court where you really can't do anything and you don't know what you're going to do. You're just trying to survive. And that's the position I was in. So to go to prison and to get a life sentence without the possibility of parole, it's like right now.
Did you freak out right away? Or did you say, hold on, let me just calm down? I know this is not the end.
I knew, Mike, when I was going to do the crime, that I was looking at a life sentence. So when I was going through the process, it was kind of shocking, but not totally, because it's like you deserve this. You earned this. So it was kind of shocking. The hardest part was the day that they actually gave it to me, and my mom was in court, and she broke down. You know my mom too, Mike.
Yeah?
Yeah. And she had dinner with you and everything. She was like, oh, Mike Tyson is so nice. You told her she could drive your car. That was the highlight. Yeah, that was one of the highlights of her lifetime.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Mike told me I could drive her car. He said, oh, Miss Ross, you can drive my car if you want to. And you didn't even know it was my mom. He didn't even know it was my mom, right?
Stuff.
That's just how he was carrying it. So that was, one of the highlights of her life is like, man, she came to jail and told me.
Yeah?
Yeah. She came to jail and told me, like, man, I was with Mike Tyson in Cleveland. You was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was with Turo, a boxer, old boxer named Turo from Cleveland. And y'all was at a restaurant, and you was like, oh, yeah, you can drive that car.
Probably at Lancers or somewhere. That was the hangout, Lancers.
So, it's crazy how our paths crossed in so many different ways. And, now that we sitting here and we talking, and your kid playing tennis, my kids play tennis. You got the form. I'm trying to get a dispensary. There's just so many things in common, and sports kind of get at to you too. Where you have that. I gotta win. Mm-hmm. I don't want to lose. Yeah. I want to be a winner. Yeah. And that's the attitude that I have right now.
That comes from our upbringing. We watched our parents be losers and watch people in our neighborhood be losers, watch everybody just lose everything. We don't want to be that way. No. You watch the block talk about them, and people talk about you, and your name is in the mud and shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's mentality is why so many young black men sell drugs right now, because they don't have no other outlet. But they don't want to be a loser, like I ain't taking welfare. I don't want food stamps, and I can't stand in line for the government cheese. I'd rather sell drugs and go to prison.
Rick, when I was in the streets, right, late 90s, 70s and stuff. I guess couldn't sell fucking drugs on the corner. I just couldn't sell the drugs or be in the house and wait. I had to take it. You know what I mean? I would take the drugs. I just couldn't be on the street selling it to people.
You didn't have the patience.
No way. How could you do it? You're amazing, brother. How could you do it?
Shit, I had to stay there all night. I'll be like,
wow, fuck.
My thing was kind of like the way you work out though, Mike. You could do 1,000 squats. I read in the paper one time they were saying Mike Tyson do 1,000 squats every day.
1,000, bro?
Yes, brother. I was an animal. That's why my whole body's fucked up. I was an animal.
So that's how I was about selling drugs.
I can't even run now. I can't even run, do road work now. My body all fucked up.
Hey, man, you put it through the ringer.
I was taught that the harder you train, the more you would achieve.
Yeah.
The harder you train, the more you break down.
I was the same, man.
That's what had me break down.
Yeah. My whole body broke down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, people...
Well, Rick, I really... I watched your documentary last night, Freeway.
Did you?
Yeah, man. Because I wanted to just brush up.
Hear all the politicians talking about them and stuff.
It's just mind-blowing, man. And I want to ask you a question, and I know that you do a lot of speaking. You get out there, you use the platform that you have to really spread some positive good in the world.
We have to. I mean, when we all look at it, when we're gone, the one thing that anybody want people to say about him is that he was a good person.
Yeah.
Like the deed that Mike did with my mom.
Right.
He don't even remember.
Yeah.
But she remembered.
Yeah.
And those are the things that's gonna count. When you're no longer around, when you can't speak for yourself, when other people speak for you, you want people to say nice things about you. Like you go, and that's one of the reasons I stopped going to funerals, because they go to the funeral and they sitting up there and they lying about this guy. The guy was a piece of shit, man. The guy ain't helped nobody. He took from everybody he come in contact with, and I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the person that people gotta come in and make my family feel good and tell a bunch of lies about me. I want it to be where I actually helped people. Where I actually did good by other people, and I'm hoping that one day I can do more good than I did bad when I sold cocaine. Because I sold a lot of cocaine and I sold it to a lot of people, and I did that out of ignorance. Because I didn't really understand. I didn't understand what cocaine was. I was 19 years old, had never saw cocaine, had never read a book, had never hit a joint, had never drunk a beer. I was one of like Mike was dedicated. I was dedicated to tennis. I was like
cold sober.
I'm running 5 miles every other day doing wind sprints, and I'm like, I'm gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? And I was taught to stay away from that. So when I went into that lane, when I found myself selling drugs, I didn't know what I was doing. Nothing. I'm just listening to other people telling me what I should be doing and how I should be doing it. And
well, how do you feel having that perspective now? Just how do you feel about, being the spark of the crack epidemic in America? Not in any way other than, being who you are now, and seeing just the wreckage that it causes in the individuals.
Well, I have no regrets.
Yeah.
No regrets, only lessons.
Yeah.
I learned some valuable lessons from it, lessons that I wouldn't repeat, but lessons that I hope other people can look at and make the right decision from. So often, we don't have anybody that we can go to. When I started selling drugs, I didn't know nobody that had ever sold cocaine. Now I knew about the Nicky Barnes and the guys that sold heroin, and I wasn't going to sell heroin because I understood what heroin was. But when it came to cocaine, I didn't understand.
Cocaine was a social drug.
Yeah, it was a drug that before,
it was a
during
social
that
drug.
time.
If you didn't do cocaine, you were like square.
It was like the affluent.
Yeah, trust me, if you didn't do cocaine, you were square.
Exactly, and that's how I looked at it.
Nobody wanted to fuck with you or hang with you. If you didn't do coke, you were fucked up.
That's crazy. It's crazy, man.
That is right there.
Just to be in the
man.
circle, you did it. You know
Yeah,
what
I mean,
know.
everybody was doing it. Rick James.
No, absolutely.
And Richard Pryor. And
if you're around somebody, you don't do cocaine, motherfucker. Man, you stupid, mother. You gonna do this shit, bitch ass nigga?
Yeah.
Get out
Fuck
of
you,
here.
then you a cop or something, motherfucker?
Right.
That's what they say.
No, man. I mean, it's absolutely. You know.
So when I looked at it, that's how I looked at it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
like
no, absolutely.
this is a sociable
Makes
thing.
sense.
This is what you know. This is what we doing. It's our generation. And,
Hey, let's keep it real. It still is.
Well,
It still is.
yeah.
It's a big epidemic. Cocaine, you know, it went underground, but it's really a big epidemic right now.
Well, then what was so interesting to me is the real horror. What was happening above you?
oh yeah,
You know,
now that's a
with
whole nother world.
the Contra shit, and
CIA.
the Iran Contra, CIA. I mean, that shit.
Yo, but listen, when you think about it, right, in this perspective, right, all right, I'm going to try to a black man, right, that's some big shit, man. When you think about some guy, you know, you think he's literally can't read and write, came from the ghetto,
Yes.
and he's just, you
Yes.
know what I mean?
It was fascinating.
He
man.
has the president talking about the president know his name.
And it made a lot of sense.
Politicians in the community knows his name.
Yeah. Like George Sr. is saying, I was
The
on the
movie
phone with
community
Freeway
knows
Rick.
his name. Everybody, everybody knows his name.
I mean, and
That could be a real ego trip too, though.
It can. I mean, that's more addictive
Than the money and everything. Huh?
than everything. Just to have that type of power and have the.
Did you have other dealers from all over the country coming trying to meet you?
Oh
and shit?
yeah,
Fuck!
absolutely.
Can you imagine that?
Absolutely.
All these guys coming to try to meet you.
Well, Rick, it's so, to me, it appears to be so cosmic, your life. You know, this, because of who you are now, like Mike, you had to live this super extreme life and have these experiences so that you could come out of it and now spread good and change the way people see the world.
Oh, absolutely,
You know?
absolutely.
Because how many thousands of guys could have been the guy that got connected to Danilo?
No,
You know?
listen, no.
Right.
I had to be a special person.
Only one.
No.
There was only one guy.
Nobody was the only guy to be special. Yeah, if it wasn't him,
You
trust
know?
me, it wouldn't have been nobody.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the
you
way.
know, it's that dedication that it takes. You know, like who's gonna do 1,000 squats every day?
Right. It's
You know, what kind of mindset
It was
does
your
that
mindset.
take to do that? And the same thing with me. It takes that same type of mindset. Like, who's gonna stand out on this block? Who's gonna take all his money and don't go buy a car, but put it back into the drugs to make the connection, get hooked on the money?
Yeah.
That was always my goal, is to hook the connection to where he's not gonna want to sell anybody else drugs because he knows that he can come to me and get all his money. His money gonna be on time. He's gonna be safe. Nothing's gonna happen to him while he's on my watch. And that's kind of the way I practice my trade.
So
And that's so hard in the drug business because everybody's so grimy.
Right.
Yeah. Right now,
Yeah.
It's so
I mean,
creepy.
now
all
it's like
creepy
rob the plug.
Yeah. It's all about creepy motherfuckers.
rob the plug,
Jealous,
and then
creepy people.
and then it,
really bad stuff, man.
and then if he don't like it, shoot him. You
Yeah.
know? So it's definitely a different time, a different breed of people that's getting involved right now.
it's a trip, man.